Technical University of Machala. Medical Sciences. The topic to be discussed in the video is about the grammar present tense. Present tense. There are 4 present tenses in English. Use the present tense to talk about something that is going on now, or that is true now in any time. Simple present to express habits and general truths. Present continuous to talk about an action happening now. Present perfect for repeated actions, actions where the time is not important, and actions that began in the past but are not finished yet. Present perfect continuous to talk about ongoing actions where both the process and the result are important. Simple present tense. The simple present tense is used to express habits, general truths, repeated actions or unchanging situations, emotions and wishes. To give instructions or directions. To express fixed arrangements, present or future. To express future time, after some conjunctions. After, when, before, as soon as, until. Simple present forms. To conjugate the present simple we use the infinitive for the subjects, I, you, we, and they, and for the third persons he, she, and it, we add a s to the end of the verb.
Simple present forms, spelling rules. With most verbs, add s. Example. Sit, sits. And stay, stays. Ending in consonant plus y, change y to I and add s. Example. Try, tires. And carry, carries. Simple present forms, spelling rules. Ending in s, z, ch or x, add s. Example. Miss, misses. And finish, finishes. Exceptions. Example. Do, does. And go, goes.
Structure of affirmative sentences in the present simple tense. Subject. Plus verb. Plus object. Subject. I, you. We. They. Verb. Example study. OBJ. Example every day. Example of sentences in present simple. I study every night about tuberculosis. They study every night about tuberculosis. Structure of affirmative sentences in the present simple tense. Subject. Plus verb. Plus object. Subject. He. She. It. Verb. Example studies. Object. Example every day. Example of sentences in present simple. He studies the complications of pneumonia. She studies the complications of pneumonia. Structure of negative sentences in the present simple tense. Subject. Plus don't. Plus verb. Plus object. Subject. I. You. We. They. Verb. Example work. Example of negative sentences in present simple. I do not work as a pulmonologist in the clinic. We don't work in the surgery area. Structure of negative sentences in the present simple tense. Subject. Plus doesn't. Or does not. Plus verb. Plus object. Subject. He. She. It. Verb. Example work. Example of negative sentences in present simple. He doesn't smoke because he wants to preserve his lungs. She doesn't attend COPD talks. Structure of interrogative sentences in the present simple tense. Do. Or does. Plus subject. Plus verb. Plus object. Do. With the subject. I. You. We. They. Does. With the subject. He. She. It. Verb. Example have need want etc. Object. Example a new stethoscope. Example of interrogative sentences in present simple. Do you need a new stethoscope to listen to the lungs? Does she have to expound on the physiology of the bronchi? Present continuous tense. The present continuous is a verb tense which is used to talk about something that is happening at the moment we speak. Talk about something that is happening now, but not necessarily when we speak. Talk about something that is already decided to be done in the near future. Structure of affirmative sentences in the present continuous tense. Subject. Plus auxiliary verb. Plus verb plus ing. Plus object. I with the auxiliary verb. Am. He. She. It. With the auxiliary verb. Is. You. We. They. With the auxiliary verb. Are. Verb plus ing. Example talking, learning, doing, going. Example of affirmative sentences in present continuous. He is doing a pneumology flowchart. We are learning about pneumonia. Structure of negative sentences in the present continuous tense. Subject. Plus auxiliary verb. Plus negative auxiliary. Verb plus ing. plus obj. I with the auxiliary verb. Am. He. She. It. With the auxiliary verb. Is. You. We. They. With the auxiliary verb. Are. Verb plus ing. Example seeing. Reading. Telling. Fighting. Example of negative sentences in present continuous. He is not doing a pneumology flowchart. We aren't learning about pneumonia. Structure of interrogative sentences in the present continuous tense. Auxiliary verb. Plus subject. Plus verb plus ing. Plus obj. Plus question mark. Example of interrogative sentences in present continuous. Are you talking about dyspnea and chest pain? Is he working in the COVID-19 area? Present perfect tense. Structure present perfect tense. Subject. Plus auxiliary verb. Plus past participle. The subject he. She. It. With the auxiliary verb has. The subject you. We. They. With the auxiliary verb have. Past participle. Talked, learned, traveled. Short form. I've. You've. We've. They've. He's. She's. It's. Examples of some irregular verbs in your past participle. Subject. Be. Do. Go. Make. See. Simple past. Was work. Did. Went. Made. Saw. Past participle. Been. Done. Gone. Made. Seen. Structure of affirmative sentences in the present perfect tense. Subject. Plus auxiliary verb. Plus past participle. Plus obj. Example of affirmative sentences in present perfect. I've reviewed the new clinical guidelines in asthma. She has been transferred emergency to the area of COVID-19. Structure of negative sentences in the present perfect tense. Subject. Plus auxiliary verb. Plus not. Plus past participle. Plus obj. Example of negative sentences in present perfect. The nurse has not written the lung cancer patient report. I have not heard the doctor's instructions. Structure of interrogative sentences in the present perfect tense. Auxiliary verb. Plus subject. Plus past participle. Plus obj. Plus question mark. Auxiliary verb has. With the subject. He. She. It. Auxiliary verb have. With the subject you. We. They. Example of interrogative sentences in present perfect. Has she reviewed the guidelines for exploring the lung bases? Have you taken prescription medications for your emphysema? Present perfect continuous tense. Structure of affirmative sentences in the present perfect continuous tense. Subject. Plus auxiliary verb. Plus been. Plus verb plus ing. Plus obj. Subject. He. She. It. With the auxiliary verb has. Plus been. Subject you. We. They. With the auxiliary verb have. Plus been. And the verb plus ing. Example. Talking. Studying. Waiting. Example of affirmative sentences in present perfect continuous. She has been studying anatomy of respiratory system. I have been waiting for you for over an hour. Structure of negative sentences in the present perfect continuous tense. Subject. Plus auxiliary verb plus not. Plus been. Plus verb plus ing. Plus obj. Subject. He. She. It. With the auxiliary verb hasn't. Plus been. Subject you. We. They. With the auxiliary verb haven't. Plus been. And the verb plus ing. Example. Talking. Studying. Waiting. Example of negative sentences in present perfect continuous. She hasn't been studying anatomy of the system respiratory. They haven't been talking for more than a few minutes. Structure of interrogative sentences in the present perfect continuous tense. Auxiliary verb. Plus subject. Plus been. Plus verb plus ing. Plus obj. Plus question mark. Auxiliary verb has. With the subject. He. She. It. Plus been. Auxiliary verb have. With the subject you. We. They. Plus been. And the verb plus ing. Example. Talking. Studying. Waiting. Example of interrogative sentences in present perfect continuous. Has he been studying the bronchopneumonia? Have they been talking about the patient with COVID-19? Other uses of the present perfect continuous. Structure. When for. Subject. Plus auxiliary verb. Have has. plus been, plus verb plus ing, plus obj, plus for, plus period. Example. He has been missing his shifts at the hospital for a week. We've been planning our vacation for over a month. Other uses of the present perfect continuous. Structure. When since. Subject. Plus auxiliary verb, have has. Plus been. Plus verb plus ing. Plus obj. Plus since. Plus point in time. Example. John has been working at the hospital since 2003. They have been studying their specialty since 2019. Thanks for your attention.